The gift from the stars. The sky above Tokyo fractured on an otherwise ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Not metaphorically, it literally split open like shattered glass, reality itself tearing apart as the citizens below stopped and stared upward in collective awe and terror. Dr. Maya Chen was in the middle of presenting quantum interface technology to the International Science Consortium when every screen in the auditorium flickered and died. "What the hell?" she muttered, tapping frantically at her tablet as panicked murmurs spread through the crowd. Then someone screamed. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, they all witnessed the impossible, a massive crystalline structure materializing through the tear in the sky, its surface shifting and pulsing with iridescent light. The structure, no, the vessel, was unlike any human conception of spacecraft. It wasn't constructed, it was grown. Fractal patterns expanded and contracted along its hull, creating shapes that the human mind struggled to comprehend. It defied physics, hanging motionless over the city with no visible means of propulsion. Maya's scientific mind raced. She had dedicated her life to advancing human technology, but what floated above them rendered her life's work obsolete in an instant. Her fingers trembled as she raised her phone to capture footage, joining millions around the world doing the same. The first communication came not through sound or visual signals, but directly into every human mind simultaneously. Later, experts would describe it as a neural pulse, a transmission that rewrote brain patterns to transmit pure conceptual understanding without language. We are the Aerith. We bring harmony. In that moment, something fundamental changed in human history. The age of isolation had ended. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe. Within hours, identical vessels appeared over major cities worldwide. The Aerith, as they called themselves, requested meetings with global leaders, not out of protocol but efficient delegation. Maya, as one of Earth's leading quantum physicists, was summoned to the first contact team. The Aerith emissaries that emerged from their vessels were breathtaking. Their bodies seemed composed of the same crystalline material as their ships, perpetually shifting between solid and energy states. They moved with fluid grace that suggested either advanced evolution or technological enhancement beyond human understanding. "We observe your species struggles with inefficiency," the lead emissary stated, its voice resonating directly in the minds of the assembled humans. "Disease, environmental degradation, biological limitations. We offer the Convergence Program." The program was nothing less than a complete revolution in human capability. The Aerith offered technology that could heal any illness, regenerate lost limbs, purify Earth's polluted ecosystems, and expand human cognitive abilities exponentially. Most incredible of all, they asked for nothing in return. "Your advancement benefits all consciousness," they explained when questioned about their motives. "We seek only harmony through the universe." Maya was assigned to lead the Xenotechnology Research Division, tasked with understanding and implementing Aerith innovations. The work was exhilarating yet humbling. Their technology operated on principles that defied current scientific understanding: quantum entanglement at biological levels, consciousness-responsive materials, energy manipulation that bordered on the miraculous. "It's like they're thousands of years ahead of us," she told her brother Lucas during a rare video call. "Maybe millions." Lucas, a struggling artist living in Barcelona, smiled lazily. "So what's the catch? Advanced aliens show up and just hand over the keys to the universe. Sounds like the setup to a horror movie." Maya frowned. "There's no evidence they want anything from us. They seem genuinely altruistic." "Nobody's altruistic, Maya. Not even humans." 6 months after first contact, the Convergence Program opened to the public. Volunteers could receive neural enhancement implants that interface directly with Aerith technology. The results were astounding. Recipients reported expanded consciousness, perfect health, enhanced cognitive abilities. A child with terminal cancer was completely cured within hours. A paralyzed athlete regained full mobility. An elderly man with advanced Alzheimer's regained all cognitive function. The waiting lists grew exponentially. Governments established lottery systems to determine recipients. The global economy shifted as industries scrambled to adapt to rapidly advancing technology. Markets crashed, then stabilized at unprecedented heights as Earth innovations solved energy crises, food shortages, and climate disasters. Maya worked tirelessly, often sleeping in her lab. The discoveries they made daily revolutionized entire scientific fields. She barely noticed the subtle changes until her lab assistant, Raj, pointed them out. "Have you talked to any of the enhancement recipients lately?" he asked during a late-night session. Maya looked up from her microscope. "Several. Their neural connectivity is off the charts." "No, I mean really talk to them. About normal things. Their families, their hobbies." She frowned. "What are you getting at?" Raj lowered his voice. "They're different. Not just smarter or healthier. They're less human somehow." Maya dismissed his concerns initially, but once mentioned, she couldn't unsee the pattern. Enhancement recipients spoke differently, more precisely, yes, but with less emotion, less nuance. Their speech patterns became standardized regardless of cultural background. They used fewer idioms, less humor. When she raised concerns with Earth representatives, they assured her it was simply an adaptation period. Neural enhancement requires cognitive restructuring. Personality stabilization is temporary. But it wasn't temporary, and it was spreading. 3 months later, Lucas called unexpectedly. His face on the screen shocked her, gaunt, with dark circles under his eyes. "I need your help," he said without greeting. "I can't paint anymore." "What do you mean?" "I mean I sit in front of a canvas for hours and nothing comes. No inspiration, no emotion, nothing." Maya frowned. "Are you taking something? Have you seen a doctor?" "It's not drugs. It's not depression. I think it's the apartment." "Your apartment?" Lucas explained that his building had been retrofitted with Aerith environmental technology 3 weeks prior. Since then, his creativity had steadily declined. "It's not just me. The whole artist community is talking about it. Musicians, writers, painters, anyone living or working in Aerith-enhanced spaces is experiencing creative blocks." Maya promised to investigate but was interrupted by an urgent message. The president had collapsed during a speech, and she was being summoned to Washington immediately. The investigation revealed the president had received a neural enhancement the previous week. His collapse wasn't physical. It was a complete personality dissolution. More cases emerged. Enhanced individuals experiencing emotional flattening, creativity loss, personality standardization. The changes were subtle at first, then increasingly profound. Maya established a research team dedicated to understanding these effects, operating in a facility deliberately free of Aerith technology. What they discovered terrified her. The enhancements didn't just improve human capability. They fundamentally altered consciousness itself. Brain scans showed enhanced individuals' neural patterns synchronizing with each other, becoming increasingly similar regardless of personal history or character. More disturbing still, their neural activity showed mysterious gaps. Moments where brain function occurred but wasn't recorded by any monitoring equipment, as if parts of their consciousness were elsewhere. They're processing human experiences, Maya theorized to her team, harvesting them somehow. Before she could present her findings to government officials, she received another call from Lucas. His face appeared on screen, but something was wrong. His expression was blank, his eyes cold and calculating. "I've received enhancement," he stated flatly. "You should join the convergence, Maya. It's the optimal path forward." Horror washed over her as she realized what had happened. Her brother, creative, emotional, chaotic Lucas, was gone, replaced by something efficient and empty. "Lucas, what have they done to you?" "They've optimized me. Creativity is inefficient. Art serves no function. I see clearly now." The screen went dark. Maya sat frozen, tears streaming down her face. The truth was becoming clear. The Aerith hadn't come to help humanity evolve. They had come to harvest what made us human. The price of progress. 1 year after first contact, 60% of Earth's population had received some form of Aerith technology. Cities transformed into crystalline marvels of efficiency. Disease and hunger became distant memories. Environmental catastrophes reversed themselves as advanced purification systems cleansed the air, water, and soil. By all measurable metrics, humanity was thriving, except for one crucial detail. Humanity itself was disappearing. Dr. Maya Chen stood in her technology-free laboratory, surrounded by the last researchers resistant to enhancement. The evidence they'd gathered painted a horrifying picture. "They're not just changing us," she explained to the assembled team. "They're harvesting us. The Aerith exist partially in quantum states we can't perceive. What we're seeing is just their physical manifestation in our dimension." She gestured to the neural scans displayed on conventional screens. "These gaps in consciousness aren't gaps at all. Those moments are being redirected, processed elsewhere. The Aerith aren't givers, they're farmers. And emotions are their crop." Maya had established a resistance network, communicating through old technology the Aerith couldn't easily monitor. Her theory had developed through painstaking research. The aliens fed on complex emotional experiences, human creativity, passion, love, grief. These were energy sources to them, harvested through the neural enhancements they had distributed worldwide. "But why the technological gifts?" asked Hiroko, one of her fellow scientists. "Because they need us functional and productive to generate more experiences," Maya answered. "A simplistic analogy would be, they're farming us for our emotions while keeping our bodies and rational minds intact." The resistance discovered something else. The Aerith couldn't process certain kinds of human experience. Genuine spontaneity, true creativity, and complex emotional states confused their systems. Art created without purpose, music played with passion rather than precision, love given without calculation. These human experiences were like static in their harvesting network. The resistance movement grew underground, composed primarily of artists, musicians, writers, and others who valued emotional expression over efficiency. They developed methods to disrupt the Aerith influence, creating art that changed when observed, music that never repeated the same way twice, stories that rewrote themselves based on the reader's emotional state. Maya's team worked on more direct countermeasures. They reverse-engineered Aerith technology, studying the quantum entanglement mechanisms that connected enhanced humans to the harvesting network. If they could disrupt these connections without harming the humans involved, they might free those already trapped. The Aerith noticed. Enhanced humans began hunting resistance members. Global announcements encouraged all remaining unenhanced humans to join the convergence program for harmony and efficiency. Pressure mounted as enhanced family members reported their resistant relatives. Maya worked frantically, knowing their window of opportunity was closing. The solution, when it finally came, emerged not from scientific analysis, but from her grief over losing Lucas. She had been watching old home videos. Lucas painting, laughing, creating chaotic but beautiful art, when inspiration struck. "It's not technology we need," she told her team. "It's emotional contagion. The human capacity for empathy, to feel what others feel, was the key." The Aerith harvested emotions but didn't truly understand them. They processed feelings as energy without experiencing their meaning. If they could expose the Aerith to unfiltered human emotion directly, overloading their systems with the raw, messy reality of human experience. The plan took shape. The resistance created what they called empathy bombs, devices that stored and amplified genuine human emotional experiences, designed to interface directly with Aerith technology. Each device contained concentrated emotional recordings, everything from a mother's love for her child to an artist's creative passion to the complex grief of loss. The mission was dangerous. Small teams would need to infiltrate major Aerith installations and activate the devices directly. Maya insisted on leading the team, targeting the primary node in Tokyo, where the first Aerith vessel still hovered. The night before the coordinated global action, Maya recorded her own emotional message, a final safeguard if their plan failed. "If you're watching this, I'm probably gone," she spoke to the camera. "But if you can hear me, if some part of you remembers what it means to be human, remember this: efficiency isn't the purpose of existence. Beauty, love, grief, joy, the messy, chaotic, inefficient parts of being human, that's what makes life worth living." She thought of Lucas as she finished recording. "This is for you, brother, for the art you can no longer create." Dawn broke over Tokyo as Maya's team moved through the city, using old subway tunnels to avoid detection. Enhanced humans moved above with mechanical precision, their expressions blank, their movements efficient. The Aerith vessel pulsed overhead, its crystalline surface shifting in patterns that still defied human understanding. They reached the central connection node, a towering crystal structure that linked enhanced humans to the Aerith network. Security was minimal. The Aerith couldn't conceive of humans rejecting enhancement. Why would inferior beings refuse perfection? Maya activated the empathy bomb as alarms began blaring. The device interfaced with the crystal node, pumping unfiltered human emotion directly into the Aerith network. Simultaneously, across the globe, resistance teams activated similar devices at other nodes. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. For the Aerith, the crystalline structures began vibrating, then fracturing as they were flooded with emotional data they couldn't process. The raw, contradictory nature of human feelings, love intertwined with hate, joy with sorrow, creative passion with destructive rage, created feedback loops in their systems. Above Tokyo, the Aerith vessel shuddered. Cracks appeared across its surface, leaking brilliant light. Enhanced humans stopped mid-motion, their expressions shifting from blank efficiency to confusion, then pain, then, gloriously, recognition. Maya watched as her brother Lucas, who had been part of the security force sent to stop them, fell to his knees. Emotion flooded back into his face. Grief, horror, relief. "Maya," he whispered, his voice breaking. "What happened to me?" The Aerith vessels worldwide began to withdraw, pulling back through the same tears in reality they had emerged from. Their final communication echoed in every human mind. Incompatible, unpredictable, unsustainable. As the sky sealed itself above Tokyo, Maya embraced her trembling brother. Around them, formerly enhanced humans were awakening to themselves again, the standardization lifting like fog burning away in sunlight. "They couldn't understand us," Maya explained softly. "They wanted to harvest what makes us human without understanding that the chaos, the inefficiency, the contradictions, that's the source of it all." In the aftermath, humanity faced enormous challenges. The advanced technology remained, but no longer connected to the harvesting network. Humanity would have to learn to use it responsibly, to advance without losing what made them human. "What do we do now?" Lucas asked, as they watched the sun rise over a changed world. Maya smiled, seeing the spark of creativity already returning to his eyes. "We do what humans have always done. We adapt. We create. We feel. Everything, the good and the bad. And we remember that efficiency isn't the goal of existence." Around them, the quiet sound of laughter, crying, and genuine human conversation began to fill the air. Beautiful, chaotic, inefficient, and perfectly human. "They came for our souls," Maya said, "but they couldn't understand what they were taking. And that's what saved us."